welcome back to the It's Time podcast. I almost did the shoulder thing again.
Shoulder thing.
Remember last time when I was like, hello and welcome back to the It's... You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
I was like, hello and welcome back to the It's Time podcast.
Oh.
No? No, not ringing any bells?
No. But do it again.
Oh no. This is like wearing lip gloss curse with a mic with fuzz on it.
Mm.
What's that? You're like this. I'm Mariah, that is Kaylee, and are you ever offended by that when I go that is Kaylee? Like
that is Kaylee. No.
I'm like that over there.
Honestly, no complaints. As long as I don't have to talk. As long as you keep doing the
You're
intro.
on a podcast, you talk.
I know, but I like you to take the lead.
As long as I don't have to talk on here.
I'm just here for the vibes.
Fair enough. So today we're going to talk about burnout. I'm in burnout right now. Are you in burnout? Do you feel like you go through waves?
Right now I'm on spring break. So this
it's
exact
easier
moment,
to,
no.
It's easier to, you're kind of like, oh.
3 days ago? Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It definitely comes in waves in teaching.
The thing is, I think they do those breaks for the teachers more than for the kids. Because the parents are like, shit. They're on break.
It screws everybody else up except for us. We're like,
teachers are like,
woo!
Thank God.
Yeah.
But before we get into burnout talk, we'll catch up a bit. We had our second monthly meetup this weekend, and it went so well, like better than
it was so
I could have imagined it going.
We were really worried because the weather wasn't amazing, so we like switched locations so we could be under like a cover. We were like, oh, but what if still like nobody comes?
What if no one comes because it's rainy and cold out? But
no, it was super fun. There was even more people than there was last time.
Yeah.
And everybody like brought their own
so many
activities.
people actually like
I was counting in the picture. It's like 40 something.
What?
40 something people.
40
How
something
fun.
people. And I think our last one was like 20.
Yeah.
Like realistically.
I think like 25
maybe 25,
yeah.
but like.
And it wasn't a lot of overlap between people that were there last time and people that were there this time.
Yeah, a lot of new people.
So then maybe the third time it'll be everybody and it'll be
a huge group. I think it just went the best. I mean, when it first started at, what, did we start at noon?
Yeah.
Hi, baby.
No.
Ooh, missed the keyboard, love. Like, we didn't think people would show up at noon. All of a sudden, it's noon. People are coming up. We're like, oh, it's happening. It's starting.
Yeah.
Things are rolling. And there was maybe like 10 of us. And I was like, okay, like, even if this is the group, I think we're good. Like, this is great to have even like 15 people come would have been amazing. And then people just kept coming and coming to the point of where, like, I hadn't even gotten to introduce myself.
There's some people that I didn't get to actually meet.
Yeah. And people are leaving. And I'm like, I'm so sorry we didn't get a chance to, like, hang out. But the consensus was, it was fun. I saw a few people post on their stories, like, so great making friends, new friends this weekend. And I don't know.
I saw a lot of like number exchanging, Instagram exchanging, like, which I don't think there was as much of at the first time. Like, I think more people really hit it off.
Yeah.
This time.
I think because, and with anything, like your first time doing something, you're kind of figuring it out. Mm-hmm. I think this time we had like activities going on, which helped a lot. It really helps with, especially like we're a group of people that, not all of us, but a lot of us struggle in social settings or making new friends, and like how do you begin those conversations? So having like games going on, like, oh, that's an easy way to jump in.
Releasing yourself from the pressure of I have to sit down and just like talk
and just
with someone and connect.
So there was like arts and crafts, bracelet making, Uno. There was like the what's that game? Friends. Oh. I almost said We Can't Be Friends, but I have Ariana Grande in my head.
I can't remember what it was called. No, it's not called We Can't Be Friends. It's basically like conversation starters for new groups of friends, like to get to know each other better. Yeah. Somebody brought that. What else was there?
It was so fun.
Yeah, lots of snacks.
So much food. Thank you,
much food.
Girls, Guys, and Nays, for showing up with the goods. But yeah, it was just, I mean, really, really great. And then a group of 10 of us maybe went to the movies after. Yeah. Just, I don't know. It was just, I think that there's quite the bright future for this group. Yeah. And we both see it going far, I think, as well as the podcast, because we know that it is somewhat combined. We started the podcast a lot earlier than the group, but it's intertwined in a way, I think, in like our mission.
Well, and because I think the podcast is how so many of these people found.
Yeah. And a lot of
it's
people
just
brought up like, oh, I was listening to this podcast or this episode or whatever. Yeah. And it's like so surreal.
Yeah, it really is
like
weird.
Because you're like not really thinking about who's listening right now while we're doing this. And then when
it's
people are like, oh, yeah, like this episode or whatever, I'm like, oh, you watch it?
You listen to that?
Yeah, it's cool. What else? What other updates?
Your tattoo.
I'm getting a tattoo removed. So fun. I'll show it.
Hold, please.
You're supposed to just be careful. Can you see it?
Yeah, you can see it.
Good?
Not necessarily, no. It's a little bloody. I wasn't expecting that.
Oh, yeah. She
just
said
a couple little drops.
Blood. Blisters. Lots of gross stuff.
How did it feel? Like, I know you got the numbing.
I got numbing. So if anyone wants pain-free tattoo removal in Portland, Oregon, go to the Untattoo Parlor. She injected lidocaine, which I thought the numbing thing would be like a little. The numbing took longer than the actual laser did. I think like anyone who's had laser hair removal could probably get a tattoo removed.
Yeah. I'd imagine it's a very similar feeling.
I would too. I mean, it has to be deeper maybe or something. I don't know. So maybe it's like a little more, but I think it's similar in the sense of it's like a hot rubber band kind of feeling, which is what I've heard people say about laser hair removal. So I think if you've done that, you'd probably be fine. And it depends on the size of the tattoo. So the lidocaine injection part took a little while because it's not one injection. She does them all around. Like she's injecting into every part of the tattoo. And then once that's done, she like checks it, and I still can't really feel anything if you hit it. And then the laser, it just felt really hot and uncomfortable, but it didn't feel like pain. Like when I've heard people talk about tattoo removal, they're like, it's the most painful thing. It's so much harder than an actual tattoo. The thing is, this tattoo took an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours to do. The actual laser removal part literally took 20 seconds.
Whoa,
really? It was maybe even less. It literally was like, she was like, okay, those were the words. And I was like, and then she keeps going. And we're having a conversation. So I'm not really paying attention.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. And she goes, okay, we're done. And I was like, what? She goes, yeah, I told you it would have been a minute. I guess it was less than that. I'm like,
dang, okay.
I'm like, this is the shit.
I mean, you can do anything for 20 seconds.
I'm not, and that's why I'm like, hey, next time I'm going to try it without the numbing. It's kind of sad. It's like no hate to the artist at all. I just wasn't in a great place. I got it when I was going in a manic episode, which like when I was first getting diagnosed, we discussed how when I'm manic, I will do things that, like, it'll start with me cutting my hair and then dyeing it. None of these things are permanent. And then I need something more. It's like, okay, now I got to get a tattoo.
Piercing, a tattoo.
Yeah, and then you're like, when you start getting tattoos in manic episodes or something. Then I got medicated. And yeah.
Love that.
But I was telling her, like, I'm definitely not done with tattoos. Like, because I'm getting one removed does not mean that I'm, like, anti-tattoo now.
You just aren't attached to that one. You don't want that on your body.
It's not meant to be there.
And it's just in a very visible spot, too. Yeah. I'm sure it'd be different if it was, like...
Or smaller.
On the inside of your arm. Or, like, I don't know, your ankle or somewhere where you didn't see it.
Yeah. So I was, like, so happy after. Like, I can't believe that this is how simple... Not simple, because it costs money, but, like, in the act of it. It's, like... And 2 months between to save up that cash, and then and I'll just be so happy when it's gone. Like I can't wait. Tange. But yeah,
Green.
That's definitely my update. I think that's it. Like I feel like I'm missing something, but I'm not.
Oh, that's what you're missing. I was like, why'd she gasp? Oh,
I have to hold on to the chair for dear life, because Kristen motherfucking Stewart blessed us yesterday. Like, so I mentioned that we went to a movie. Where's a group of girls and queers gonna go? What movie are we gonna see? Duh, Love Lies Bleeding. I think half of the group was stressed and in shock afterwards, and the other half was really turned on. It just was like...
Yeah, Mariah was like gasping the whole time.
Well, okay, here's the thing. When I'm at a movie with a group of people, I for some reason feel like I don't have to be as quiet.
Yes. Yeah.
What is that?
What is that? Because when you're... Yeah.
Because when it's you and me,
if the movie theater was full... then it would have been like a different thing.
It was kind of a vocal theater.
It was, yeah. And audience. It was mostly us. It was like our group of like 10, and then there was like a group of 3 behind us.
And they were laughing a lot. A group of 2. And
yeah, they were.
So I think when people around you, when you're in a theater where people are like into it and not chatting, but like vocalizing.
Reacting, yeah.
I feel really comfortable to do the same.
Yeah.
And as a gay woman, Kristen Stewart is doing things on screen that I have to gasp at. There's no way. Like, I have a vocal reaction that I need to get out because that's how unbelievable. Like, I need her to know how I feel about it. Like, I need to find her one day so I can say, you know what? I should get a tattoo of her face on my ass. Yeah, no, I need to tell her, like, you don't know what you do to me and what you mean to me. Like, I feel like she does know. She knows because she's her, but...
That's valid.
Like, I want her name tattooed on my heart.
On your heart?
Yeah, right here. I'm going to have Kristen Stewart.
Oh, wow.
I should get Kristen Stewart along my chest. Like, huge
in
letters.
In that
font. I know exactly what you're talking about. Great.
Oh, great.
Oh, great.
Oh, my God.
What
was I just watching?
You just blew out the speaker. I'm not interested in you like that. Look at the state of you. Have you not been on that TikTok trend?
No.
That's all I've been seeing. It's that audio's trending right now from Dairy Girls.
Oh.
Or maybe it's not trending. The amount of times it's like, this isn't trending, you're just gay. And I'm like, oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into it.
Get into it.
How are you doing?
How you doing?
It's how you doing.
How are you doing? So burnout.
Pizza. We like pizza. Okay, so burnout. So burnout is such a big topic. Like, it really is.
Yeah.
And
there's channels within it.
Yeah. And we'll just talk generally about our experiences with it because I've definitely experienced burnout before because I think that a combination of like America and our society here and the lack of work-life balance. I mean, burnout doesn't have to be with work. I just think that in my experience, that is usually where it lies because that takes up 95% of our life here. It should be 50-50 work-life balance or at least like 60-40. But it's like 95-5 essentially. Because most people, I know this is how it is for me. Like, I'm not like done with work at 5 on Friday and then I'm like free all weekend. Like, that's not how it works. You're thinking about work. Oh shit, I forgot to do, like, you can't escape whatever your work is. And I've definitely, like I said, I've experienced it before. It's just looked super differently for me because this is my first time working in a corporate office. I am sitting around people who have been at this job longer than I've been alive. I'm just like, you must really you either love what you do or you're a part of a generation that has normalized
suffering. Just
burnout is what you feel and that's normal. And that is the opposite of our generation. And I think that's why we maybe have a harder time with it is because we're so aware of it. And we also get bored quickly. I'm like, how long can I do the same thing? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and I think media is tied into that too because we have instant access to what people our age, what their life looks like in different countries, and it doesn't look like ours.
Yeah, those videos of like, or even people from America or Canada that are like, oh, life now, and I moved to Spain for work. This is my life here. Yes. In comparison to what my life was like. And so no wonder all of our goal
like
is
Americans on social media. It's like, this is my 5 to 9 after my 8 to 5. Well, I like the idea of the routine, but the
routine is good
because I'm forced to live in this situation, but that's not the ideal situation.
And everyone's different.
Like, our new friends we've been hanging out with do like a Wednesday night trivia night, and we went once, and it was super fun, and I think we'd both love to keep going, but it starts at 7:00, and it's like
starts at 7, and
kind
it's
of
not
far
close
away,
to where we live,
and I'm like being social during the work week is really difficult, and that's not the case other places.
Walkability,
and even just like throughout the day, like
lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how great would it be if I could be like, hey, is your lunch hour free? Like, you don't even have an hour, do you?
No,
you don't even have an hour for
lunch.
I have
40 minutes.
So it's like, and I don't, and everyone, it's like, it seems so cohesive in lifestyle in Europe, and we do this all the time. We generalize Europe. I know it's not cohesive like that, but everywhere, we're talking like Spain, France, parts of the UK. I think the UK wouldn't necessarily be that. Yeah. Maybe parts like
Italy,
North, Amsterdam, where you see that cohesive society and lifestyle of your days are a blend of work, life, socialization, and it's not like you're
not you wake up and you go to work and then maybe you do something else with the rest of your day.
But that's maybe.
It's I wake up, I go to the local bakery and chat with my neighbors and get something on my way to work, and then I go to work for a couple hours, and then I go out to eat, and then I go back to work for a couple hours, and then I go out for drinks, and then I it's all fluid versus this really rigid, I'm at work for this chunk of time.
And they're not mentally and exhausted at the end of their workday to where they're like, because like maybe I do have the time, but I'm tired and I need to like be by myself and recharge so I can do this again the next day. Yeah. Like, I love when we do stuff on the weekdays. It is great, like, once we're there and being social, but then we get home at like 9:30, 10,
and you're like, crap, I have to get ready for the day.
You're behind on your routines, and then you can't keep up with your routines, and then if I was doing a 5 to 9 in the morning, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah. So
how, all of this to say, it contributes to burnout, not just like burnout in a few years, burning out quick is because of all these things. Like, you get to burnout quicker because you're not having that balance, and I essentially think that's what burnout is. It's not having good work-life balance or not liking what you do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I really think that contributes to what burnout is overall. I don't know. What's the definition of burnout?
Burnout, to cause to fail, wear out, or become exhausted, especially from overwork or overuse.
That makes sense. Pretty straight to the point. So, exhaustion, essentially. I don't know. They should really do a study on, like, maybe they probably have done a study on this, of, like, Americans' burnout compared to other places. And I know we're not alone in this. Like, there are a handful of other cultures and societies that have this lifestyle of, like, work being the most important thing.
Rise and grind.
The rise and grind. What's the other, like, I guess the grind, like, the phrase grind.
The grind,
the grind as its own thing. And, like, I remember.
What a negative connotation for our generation.
And I think that it's because of what it comes with, because if you, like, are on the grind in a healthy way, that's great. Like, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Working hard, and that isn't bad. It's just, like, how we look at working hard, what that looks like, and how we're like, oh, that is the grind. It's like, no, that's
this unattainable, unsustainable thing.
Unattainable, unsustainable.
Well, and I think, I mean,
she just ignores. She's not even phased.
It's just normal. It's just normal these days. I mean, that word failure was in the definition, right? Like, maybe I can do it now, but I can't sustain it. At some point, I'm going to fail.
Right.
If I keep this up.
Yeah.
And I think failure can look a lot of different ways. Like, I think for me right now, failure due to burnout is like I'm being kind of a brat to my kids because I just have no patience for them. But failure could also look like not having time or energy to take care of yourself, or I don't know.
God, imagine having kids.
I think about that all
I was at the store
the time. All the time.
there was a month. Oh, I was at Target. Oh my God, yes, this is what it was. And it pissed me off. Ooh, I want to share this. So, this is like kind of actually crazy. Like the timing of me noticing. So I pull up and I'm like in the parking lot and I was like doing a few things before I got out of the car. And I noticed that the guy in the car next to me was also sitting in his car. And I was like, I didn't really think much. I just noticed.
Yeah.
I was like, whatever. Okay. So I go in to Target, do my stuff. I'm checking out. And at the register next to me, there's this mom with like a baby and like on her chest in that thingy. And then like a toddler. And she's like holding the toddler while she's paying, has the cart. Literally looks impossible. Like I could cry. The toddler starts like freaking out and like trying to get out of her arms. So she's trying to hold on to the toddler while she's still trying to check out. It's like, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe she's like running errands and doing all this. Like I just probably wouldn't go.
Yeah.
And then I go out to the car. I get in the car. Who is the person next to me? This mother and her kids. Her, I'm assuming husband or boyfriend or whoever, was sitting in the car the whole time. He was sitting in the car on his motherfucking phone. And I thought he was just sitting. No, he was waiting for his partner to go shopping with their 2 children.
You couldn't at least
I don't even care if those aren't your
kids.
Like, I don't care if those aren't your kids and your or boyfriend or whatever. I don't care what the situation looks like. It could literally be a million different things.
You could be friend. You could be brother. You could be uncle. You could be.
It doesn't matter.
You're clearly associated with this woman and she needs help.
You didn't. You let her do that? Like, not let her, but like I wanted to say something, but like what?
Yeah.
What do you say? You can't.
Hey, you piece of shit. Nice
You're a piece of shit. Maybe help her next time. Like, are you or like keep the kids with you?
At the very least, keep one of the kids in the car with you.
Like, I cannot. And this is such a sorry for the tangent, but this has been such a consistent thing I've seen. Not just like me personally, but have seen people talk about online of what like men not helping, or like you'll be out and you'll see a woman carrying her child with the bags, the grocery bags. The man's not holding anything. Like things like that I notice so much, and it's because men are so privileged and they don't even think about needing to do these things. Yeah. Like it doesn't even cross their mind.
To the woman, it's like, these things have to get done. I'm doing them.
To the woman, it's what it's your job. You think it's your responsibility. I have to do this. Like when there's a family event and there's cleaning in the kitchen, would I sit down and not help clean? No. Of course I would help clean. Men don't feel that need to help clean.
Think about how much worse burnout is for women.
For real. Well, on that, let's roll on that. The typical work week and work day was built around men's hormones. There is literal science to back this up. Men's hormones work in a 24-hour cycle. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that's right. 24-hour cycle. Women's is like a 28-day.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
So men, like I don't even know. You just have to like do your own research and think about this maybe on another time, because you really got to think about this shit because it fucking matters. Men wake up. This is hard. Literally. Ready to go. They're ready to fuck the day. They're like, I'm ready. Woo! And women are like, woo. It kind of takes us a while to warm up. Hormones. That's literally science. And then around 3 o'clock, women hit a dip in our hormones. We are tired. We are supposed to rest. We are supposed to sleep if you need self-care. Men don't get that until like 5, 6. It doesn't work for your body. It doesn't work for you. I need to stop talking. Well, and
part of it is that like control aspect too, because how many studies have we seen now, especially since 2020, of how like a 5-day, 8-hour a day work week does not equal more productivity. And like it's been shown to us over and over and over again, like if people are allowed a better work-life balance, they will do a better job at work and therefore do not need as much time to get their job done. And CEOs don't give a shit about that.
No brainer. Like there is literal science backed.
Yeah.
Like they don't care.
It's proven. But it's like they have to have this control.
It's control. And it's all about control.
Manipulating people, and like we are their little monkeys.
I don't know. Do you think that there's a chance that
they're happening in places. Yeah. Like there
Trials.
Are, especially in like smaller, more rural school districts, they're converting to 4-day weeks.
Really?
Yeah. And
I feel like parents would fight
depends
back
on the district. The thing about education is, it does make that aspect really hard because you have to guarantee that those kids are being cared for that other day of the week.
Yeah, that's rough.
Because for some kids, like, going to school is their safe place.
Yeah.
So
it's so
that's
food.
With education in particular, that's like a little harder for me to wrap my head around. But it depends from place to place. Like some districts are like teachers and students 4 days a week.
And they're
period,
doing
the
it?
end. Yeah. And then other districts are students 4 days a week, teachers 5 days a week. And then that one day that they don't have students is when they have all their meetings and all their blah, blah, blah. So that all of your other afternoons and preps and whatever are actually used for prepping and getting ready to teach versus going to meetings and trainings and stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
And it works. Like,
yeah,
it's happening in places.
Yeah. Also, like, we don't need 9 to 5. Like, sorry. Anyways, tangent. And this guy's going a little long. Let's wrap up with our current burnout vibes.
I have been feeling burnt out for the past, I don't know, 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks. I don't know. I think a mix of it has been like how I'm actually feeling at work. And I also am just someone that needs a certain amount of rest. Like, I don't feel rested unless I had like at least 2 hours to myself in a day of just like doing nothing, whether that's like scrolling on my phone or sitting and watching TV or reading or whatever it is. Like 2 hours of just like, don't have to think about anything else, don't have to do anything else. I'm not making dinner, I'm not working out, I'm not, like, 2 hours of nothing. And I've been so busy in my like social life lately, which is amazing, but I haven't been getting my me time. So I'm like burning the candle at both ends, I think is what it feels like right now. Yeah. And it's hard because I think in most situations my reaction would be, okay, well, I know how to make this feel better, right? Like, I need to put energy into like taking care of myself and like spend some time like making a fun dinner or watching a good TV show. But I also know how important it is to me to be like growing my social life right now. So I feel in this particular like phase of my life, I feel like I have to take advantage of every social opportunity that's coming up, which is taking away from the strategies I like know to use when I'm feeling burnt out. Yeah. So it's this weird like positive and negative mix, I think.
Well, and on that, I don't know if you feel like this at all, but lately I've been feeling like if the new friends we've made are like, oh, let's do this, and I can't go, like,
yes.
I'm like, oh, I have to do everything now because I made these friends. Otherwise, if I don't go, then they're like, oh, we're not friends with her anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to lose them.
I think it's like this introductory phase of friendship where I feel like I need to spend as much time with you as I can to like really solidify it.
Yeah. Even though like I feel pretty solidified.
I'm sure it's like not actually that way from their perspective, but what about you?
I think I've been feeling the burnout for like a similar time frame, like, and it's probably for similar reasons. But also I think that I'm also going through that stage of like, okay, I've been at a new job and it's still new, but like there's this like high when you're just starting something and
it's like you're out of the honeymoon phase.
And it's not like I hate the job. I like the job. I'm exhausted. And I still like what I do. It's not that I don't like it. And I like the people I work with. And and
burnout doesn't equate to not liking your job.
Yeah. I think the combination of not a ton of socialization at my job to then overnight basically having one of the most social jobs you can have.
I was going to say, I wonder how much of your burnout is from like just like you're being so much more social than you've ever been.
I'm an introvert. Like, I am through and through an introvert. And I can be extroverted. I'm an extroverted introvert. I'm an extroverted introvert sometimes. Mm. The podcast and Portland Girls, Gays, and Theys is taking up a lot of time. And I'm not complaining. I think it's so great. But it's like, it could be a full-time job if we wanted it to be. I mean, if we were making money.
Wanted to do it really, really well, it would be.
It would be, yeah. I feel like maybe with teaching it's similar too, of where you're not, like, there are people have jobs where you clock in and clock out and then you're done. That is not how my job works. Like,
I think yours is harder than mine in
But, like, aspect. In the sense of, like, you...
I'm always thinking about my kids, and I'm good at tapping out of work.
That's good. That's good that you do that, though.
A lot of teachers aren't. I'm like...
I was going to say, I feel like a lot of teachers, like, will go home and then spend all night doing
literally
more.
Spend hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, screw work. Like, my day is done. The thing about teaching is you'll never be done.
That's what it is.
Like, there's always more work.
But
so I spend extra time thinking about my kids or thinking about, like, random things like, oops, I should have sent this email or whatever. But for the most part, it's like, I wonder how so-and-so's doing or blah, blah, blah. But your job, like, I've watched the way your brain has shifted. Oh, God. We'll just be out doing things, and now she has to have this lens of, like, oh, future client.
There isn't an off switch, and I think that it's the same way with the podcast in Portland Girls, Gays, and Theys. Every single aspect, it's like you finish your tasks, they're not done. There's still
more to do. Yeah.
You're never done. It's like
it was a lot really quick.
It was a lot really quickly. There was no like transition time, and so now I'm like we just
and whether it's friendships or the podcast or Portland Girls, Gays, and Theys, it's like we feel like we have this momentum, and if we slack, then it's gone.
Yeah.
So I think that is where the constant pressure is coming from of like, what could I be doing?
I just want to take a break.
But we're going to go to the beach this weekend, right?
Oh, yeah. Why do I feel like there is something this weekend, though?
Easter is this weekend. Not that you're doing anything.
No, definitely not.
I have to go to my parents on Sunday.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Not like for Easter, but like it was a good excuse for them to be like, oh, the weather's nice. We'll make dinner. You come work at the house.
Oh. So it's not Easter, really?
No. It has literally nothing to do with Easter.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
We'll see.
But I just need to be like by the ocean.
Is it going to be nice?
Yeah, actually it is. I want to do like the driving and the stopping and the fun places.
Okay. Cuckoo. Okay. Well,
cuckoo.
Thank you for listening. Hopefully that wasn't stressful. Stress anyone out. Stressed me out.
My heart rate's
up. I don't know. Thank you for listening or watching the It's Time podcast. I hate the way that sounds.
What? Podcast?
No.
Oh.
The phrase. Thank you for listening to or watching the It's Time podcast.
Thank you for watching or listening to.
Oh, I like that better. Thank you for watching or listening to the It's Time podcast. I'm Raya. That is Kaylee. New episodes every Wednesday. See you next time.